everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share a pretty quick project with you. I printed out the entire stamp set called First Coffee by Joy Clair Designs. I did it with my toner printer, and then I cut it out using my Silhouette software. And then I'm going to selectively foil these pieces. This makes several cards in really quick amount of time. I use Scotch repositionable or removable tape when I'm doing this. I love that stuff. It's kind of my secret weapon in my craft room. I use it all the time. I'm going to put it on the back of each of my pieces and then kind of adhere my foil to them so they don't shift around. Wish I would have thought a little bit better about this one right here, the I Love Coffee mug, because that little piece of purple foil did shift a little bit. So I'm using some Shattered Rainbow foil. This is some Deco foil by Thermoweb, and I love this stuff. There's several sheets in the roll, and they're all different. So here I'm showing you the selective foiling part. I decided the word coffee I wanted in pink, and the rest I wanted in black. I don't remember how long ago it's been since I ordered that black foil, but when I received it, I was like, what am I going to do with black foil? What is the purpose of black foil? I love black foil, I'm telling you now. It gives this really cool kind of embossed look, like heat embossing, except for it's not raised, and I can Copic color on it without hurting the nibs of my markers or ink blend, and it will resist, and I just think it's fantastic. Oh, I was also drinking wine while I was doing this, so you know it had to be some quick cards because I only had that much wine. When I foil anything or when I use my laminator, I always run everything through 3 times, face up, face down, and then face up again. Not sure exactly how a laminator works, where it heats up, but I want to make sure that it heats my project evenly, and I always get the best results when I do that. It does not take much longer to run it through 3 times like that, and I do that for everything. So here I'm just pulling off all of my pieces, and you can see that the tape does transfer the foil, but I can peel the tape right off, and then it made sure that my foil stayed in the right places. And I very much appreciate Scotch for coming up with that kind of tape because it doesn't really stick to my project. I can pull it up, move it around. I use it for die cutting all the time to hold things in place. I love that tape. So if you happen to see it, it's called Scotch removable tape. It's in a little blue box, and it is totally worth the little bit of money. I find that it works better in my die cut machine too because it is very thin, doesn't apply any extra pressure to my paper, and then I don't get that impression that sometimes you get with the thicker tapes like the purple tape or painter's tape or even micropore tape. So here I just did the rest of the entire stamp set. I have done the entire stamp set now. I ran everything through. I did the cat and the bear. I did with just the black foil. I wanted them to have that shiny outline. Some of these I did selectively foil again, made sure that I had my pieces taped in where I wanted them to. Now this one here with the classic, I wish that one would have came out better. My toner printer must have got toner in the wrong place, and therefore it foiled in the wrong place, and I wasn't able to fix it. This one that says let's go on a starvation diet for 24 hours or no coffee for 24 hours, I highlighted the number 24. I didn't use that one in any of these cards, but you'll see what I do use here. So the bear, he's shiny, and so is the cat, and I am still able to Copic color them. One other little neat thing that I found is running my Nina Solar White cardstock through my laminator made it super smooth. My Copic coloring was a dream on this cardstock after I had run it through. So I'm just pairing up my sentiments with my images here. I tried to fix this one because I really wanted it for the bear, but you can see here when I scratch the foil loose, you can see the toner coming underneath, so there is just no fixing that one. I can just reprint it if I want. Then I wasn't sure if I was going to use this starvation diet one, but I decided against it. So those are the 4 setups there. And what I did is die cut everything off screen. I also Copic colored everything off screen. For those glasses, I did trim them down just a little bit more with my scissors, and then I ran a gray Copic marker around them so you don't see any white border since they're going to sit on the cat's face. This is some Darice glitter cardstock, sticky cardstock. It does shed, so I'm really happy to get it out of my stash, and I'm going to put it behind this cover plate die by Birch Press, and it's going to kind of, not a lot of it's going to show through, so it shouldn't really shed off there. This is a Birch Press layering cover die. Say that 10 times fast. And it's called Dazzle. It is really fun. This is the first time I have ever cut it out of anything but white. I have always used it white on white, and I thought these would be really fun in really bright colors. So you'll see that is the theme through all of these cards, is bright, fun colors. I am so ready for summertime. I want to get out of my house. I want the dreary weather to be over. I don't want to worry about snow anymore or cold. So that is where you get today's cards. They are super bright and fun. I'm going to adhere his little glasses down kind of farther down on his nose so you can see that his eyes are back there peeking out. I just thought that he was just super fun, and he covered up that little center on the Dazzle die really good so you couldn't see all of that glitter behind there. And then I just adhered down the sentiment here that is selectively foiled. It says, "You did it, I knew you could," and I thought that this was super fun and pretty. I love that it's shiny and glimmery, and it's pretty flat too. Later I poked around at the idea of adding sequins to that one. I just couldn't do it. It's too pretty. So here's another piece of that Doris glitter cardstock that's sticky, and each time I just stuck it down to a piece of inexpensive black cardstock. Now this die here is a Gina Marie Designs die. It's fantastic, except for it's kind of a pain to cut out. It doesn't always want to come out nice and clean, and there are a bajillion circles there. So, I mean, I like it. I don't use it very often because it's kind of, like I said, a pain to use. But it is so pretty. So I place that over top of that glitter cardstock, and you can see how it just shimmers right through. And then there's like a spot where it didn't cut right, but our foiled cup is going to save the day. Now I decided I wanted to Copic color at least the coffee inside the mug. I wanted these to be super simple, but I still wanted them to look nice. So I went ahead and Copic colored with just a few round markers here. The E40 family, E44, 47, and 49, I believe. Just added a little depth and dimension to the little cup of coffee. And I thought this one was so pretty. I left it white, no shading on the cup. I just wanted it very simple. And then I had decided instead of just adhering it flat, I was going to add foam tape. So I did pop this up with some foam tape. I get the cheap Amazon foam tape, and I like it. It tears nice. I don't really tear it too much. But here you can see all these little pieces. I was sharing with somebody how well it tears, and they were all on the side of my roll. So I did have a bunch of torn pieces, but usually I cut it. It's no big deal. So I did pop up the cup, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to pop up the sentiment or not. And you can clearly see on this sentiment that it was selectively foiled. The butt first is black, and then coffee is pink. I just did that by making sure that the foil was in the right place, and then I held it in place with that removable Scotch tape. I'm telling you, that stuff is awesome. So here I just added a little bit of foam tape to my sentiment now that I decided that I was popping that up as well. I love how simple this is. I will later add some sequins to this one, and I did leave all that in for you, because sometimes I like seeing where people put their embellishments instead of just, ta-da, I put embellishments. I'd like to see why they are there, if there's a why. So this piece here is a, what is this die? It is by Sunny Studios, and I ink blended the cardstock after I die cut it. It is purple cardstock, purplish cardstock, and I use Blueprint Sketch, and then I use the black soot distress oxide, so they're kind of creamy, but it just kind of adds something a little different to the back. And then it's MFT's Green Eyed Monster glitter cardstock behind there, just poking through that die. I think it is so pretty. It adds a lot of shine. And that foil, I left it very simple. I didn't add any coloring to the coffee cup. I just thought it was pretty enough just as is. Now this bear is hilarious. He reminds me of the toilet paper bear, you know, the bear I'm talking about. But this is before he got all dressed and ready for his mainstream commercial, and he is wondering whether he's only got tea in that cup or not. And I die cut the background here with a Lawn Fawn die, and then I used a splatter stencil by, this is one of my new favorite companies. It is called A Colorful Life Designs, and it's called Big Blot. And I just stenciled that with some ground espresso ink over top of my cardstock here, and I do have a piece of that glitter cardstock poking through the back. I just adhered him down flat to this really pretty card panel, and then I added the sentiment. This is all just foiled in black, so you get that shine when you shift the card, but it isn't in your face shiny, but a blue bear. Come on, that's fun. Isn't he fun? So I adhered this down. I still wasn't sure how I was going to embellish any of these, honestly. I knew I wanted to add some sequins. I wanted to add some shine and some more shimmer because you can never have too much. I mean, I have used glitter cardstock on every single one of these cards in some way or another, but still I wanted more shine, more shimmer. So after I adhered them all to their card bases, which I do with my ATG 99% of the time, I just find it quick and easy. If you're careful when you put things down, you can always pick them back up and it doesn't really ruin anything. So here, I'm not sure which one's my favorite, but anyway, so I pulled out a bunch of different sequin mixes that I thought would go well and kind of spread them out and decided what I was going to use here. Now I liked this like well, not white, so they're translucent. Yeah, translucent white, kind of pearly white in really shiny, like clear sequins. I just ran them kind of horizontal or diagonally across the card on that one. For this one, I pulled these more purpley tone flat. These are actually not called sequins. They are called confetti. And I just added a few of these. They kind of have a shift to them, which is really cool with the green in the background hiding underneath that purple and blue. I just thought that that was super pretty. This is the one where the heart on the I Love Coffee mug isn't foiled exactly how I wanted it to, but it turned out kind of cool. Like half the heart is purple and half of it is black, and I think that's kind of neat. So for this bear, I decided from that same mix that I got the blue and purple sequin mix from, or sequins from, or they aren't sequins, they are confetti. We just talked about this. I pulled out the stars that were in there, and I thought, you know, I'm not sure what he had done the night before. He has bloodshot eyes and a cup of tea, because you see the little tag. It's got to be tea, right? Not coffee. And I figured maybe a little floating stars around his head might be perfect, kind of cartoony. So I added a few of those. And once I put 3 down, it seemed like it needed a few more down in the corner. So I will pull in 2 more and kind of scatter them across the card so that they kind of go diagonally across and tie everything in together. So I'd like to know, do you foil your digital images? Do you use digital images? If you do, I highly recommend Joy Clair Designs digital images. You can do all sorts of things with them. They're very easy to use. I had not used digital images up until very recently. So if I can do it, you can do it. And foiling these was really fun. It was actually the first time I had foiled anything using my brand new laser printer. No, is it a laser printer? Toner printer? Whatever it is. The first time I had foiled anything using that. So I'd like to know if you want to see maybe how to do that, or if you like to see these kind of videos where there's several cards from one stamp set. Thank you for stopping by. And as I always say, give cards generously. Bye.